Hey guys, it's Amber. Last video I very briefly mentioned Ienzo, Zexion's Heartless, and I thought that I should expand on that and tell you guys what a badass he is. Let's start out with his living arrangements. He lives on Descent Center, which is this giant gummy ship floating out in the middle of space. And it's pretty much deserted except for, your regular random Heartless. Voxton, who is totally batshit crazy and insanely obsessed and in love with Zoe, and Xandra, who's pretty much a computer with skin, and she's so badass, and I'm totally in love. Ienzo's not really very sane, but that's just part of being a Heartless. You're this big ball of darkness and emotions, but you don't have this body to hold it in and, sort it all out and everything. So, he's a little bit crazy. One of the things that helps keep him sane is his picture book, full of pictures from before the fall of Radiant Garden. And at the very beginning of the roleplay, Luxord and Marlexia kind of stole it. And he wasn't very happy with that, and when he tried to stop them from stealing it, he kind of got kidnapped and ended up being taken back to the castle that never was, and he ended up being held prisoner in Delphinium Sacrosanct, which is Marlexia's garden. Luxord watched him for a while during the whole love triangle fiasco, so it ties in. And around the time that Luxord went to go take care of Zigbar, Voxton came and rescued Ienzo. So after that, we really don't see them. They're completely gone. There's no mention of them. We don't see them at all. And they're not just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs and eating bonbons. No. Ienzo's doing what he does best. He's scheming like a motherfucker. When we finally do, we fast forward, and you meet Nadra, who is this really pretty, dark-skinned beauty with amnesia, and she doesn't like to be touched, and she doesn't take shit from anybody. We meet her, and she's in Las Vegas with Luke, who is this blind kid who can see using sounds, and they meet Demix, who realizes that they're nobodies, and he takes them back to the castle that never was. At the same time, with the love triangle fiasco, everything's going down, they meet Somnam, who is a nobody, and they bring him back to the castle. So around the time that everybody arrives back at the castle gets a visitor. It's Voxton, and he's not here on a social call, he's on a mission. And Zoe's with him, hiding in his shadow, and they run into Naminé, and Zoe pretty much kidnaps Naminé from right under Demix's nose. And about half the organization shows up to find out, hey, what's up with this guy who doesn't belong in an organization, just in our hallway causing shit. And Luxord and Zexion kind of explode in a fit of parental rage when they get teased by Voxton about Naminé's disappearance. And they start to fuck his shit up. This is where we find out what a badass Voxton is, if there was any doubt that he is completely badass. He rips out his own eyeballs. Okay, he just fucking rips them out because Zexion's using an illusion. Then he proceeds to shish kebab Nadra through the chest with his arm. Blew my mind. I died a little inside. I died a little inside. But Nadra turned out to be okay, which was great, because I died a little inside. She gets whisked away to the infirmary, and Lexaeus steps up to bat. He commences to whomping the shit out of Voxton, because he's Lexaeus, and he's a badass. As soon as Voxton's down, Luxord decides he's going to have a little chat and find out where Naminé is, because he's like, hey, where's my daughter? Figure. So Voxton's not really responsive, which Luxord expected. I mean, this is the guy that ripped out his own eyes. He's probably not going to be one of those guys that you could torture into finding stuff. So he appeals to Voxton's, super protectiveness over Zoe. because Voxton said something like, whatever Zoe wants, Zoe gets. And Luxord's like, Zoe probably wants his book, right? We've still got his book, and for every time I ask you, where's Naminé, and you don't give me the answer I want, I'm going to tear out one of the pages in the book, and I'm going to set it on fire. He's like, Zoe probably won't like that, huh? And all he receives is a smirk. And the shit hits the fan, the plot thickens like gravy, and my mind is blown. Okay? You thought this whole thing was some plot to kidnap Naminé? No. It's a 15-page diversion so that Zoe can steal back his book and every single thing in Xemnas' office, including the desk chair. Brilliance. Brilliance. Blown. Luxord's pissed, Zexion's pissed, everyone all around is pissed. And what are Zoe and Naminé doing? You might ask, while all of this is happening? They're chilling at Descent Cetera eating brownies. Yeah. There was a mental breakdown, and there was some fun with memory powers, and a lot of convincing Naminé to join the DC crew, or at least, leave the organization. But there were brownies, and it was great. They hear, Zexion has this lovely mindfuck sequence where he convinces, he goes into Voxton's mind and makes him see Ienzo dead. And Voxton just flips his shit. It was masterful. Well, Zoe starts getting upset because Voxton's getting his shit fucked up. And so he and Naminé go back, and he drops Naminé off, and Naminé sort of subtly helps him and Voxton escape. And in their escape, we find out that Ienzo's coat is a fucking Heartless. It's this badass Heartless named Zila, who I also am in love with. And they escape, and they go back and leave Naminé to think on, Ienzo's offer. But pretty much she's already decided that most likely she's going to leave the organization because she's kind of tired of, being a pawn. But, that's how awesome Ienzo is. He, fucked around and just messed everything up for the organization for 15 pages over a book and got away with it because he's that badass.